Hi, my name is Jessica Garcia, and this is the studio that I'm recording in. It's a SSL 4000 British console. That's the whole thing. Working on a project right now. This is our rack gear. See, we have it's a vocal stressor. We have a, let me see, I'm sorry. I go to school, so I wish I owned this gear. I don't own it. Patch bay, compressors. This is a badass right here, the distressor. Orban, these are pretty good. We have a Summit. Couple of compressors. Parametric EQ. Keyboard. A lot of things. We have a Eventide. This is pretty good for vocals. Lexicon reverb. I have the same reverb, but it's in my RP 500 from Digitech. It has a Lexicon in it, but this is the original reverb, and this is a really good reverb. It's got plate, all different types of reverbs, and this is pretty old. It's about 27 years old, and these are compressors, limiter peak compressors. And then you've got your Yamaha reverb. This is a digital reverb. And then you've got your TC electronic effects right here. And what I'm doing today, I'm actually trying to figure out a project that I'm doing for a band. You can see I'm working on a project. It's a death metal hardcore band. And I'm trying to figure out all my inputs and my outputs, you know, like every time I play. You can see I have like the music on a solo, but this is tape and I'm recording to the board. See? Basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out all the inputs and outputs before I start mixing down, because in this class they want us to mix, not really record. So it's mostly our mixing skills, you know, using most of the outboard gear, then using whatever in Pro Tools, because like a lot of people, I mean, it's a pleasure, it's like a privilege working on this, because you know, a lot of people have straight just Pro Tools, or they have like a control surface, but in this class they want us to learn how to mix all on this board. And as you can see, you have like a bunch of different stuff. You have, you know, your matrix for assigning your mix to Pro Tools. You've got all sorts of cool, you got your dynamics, line, you know, you got all this, and you've got a long thing of EQs. You got filters on here, different parametric EQs, and you've got different EQs on each side of the board. On this side, it's a red EQ because you got bell patterns and stuff, splits. But if you come over here, you notice you have pink, and you have another type of, you have HMF times 3 for different bell patterns and stuff. And then you got your lines of EQs. You got your stuff for whatever, like stuff that's normal to the board here. You got your stereo cues. You got your groups. We want to match groups. Down here, this is when you're recording in Pro Tools. This is your long fader, and this is your Pro Tools fader right here. If you're recording back in Pro Tools or any other DAW recording program. Right here is the middle console. This still uses floppy disk, so anytime you do a project, you know, like on your control surface or your Pro Tools, you can save it on the computer, but on this, you use floppy disk to save it. Right here, and it shows you like what you're using, like in a control, like it shows up here like the pre-settings that you used on a previous project. And right here you copy down your project and stuff. This is just pretty I mean, it uses floppy disks so you can save all your stuff. I mean, between now, everybody says, why the hell can't you save it on a hard drive? Well, this is a couple years old, but the sound on this is great. And it goes from first track all the way to 48 tracks. I've never used 48 tracks. I'm not going to. And the matrix becomes different. So, and there's like one matrix that's lighted. Normally they like us to like normal the board out before we actually use it. You've got your master, channel flip, mix. You got your cues, your stereo, all this and that. You got all that. You also have your left and right, you know, presets. You've got all your patch bays, your cues, stereo, all that. 2 screens. I mean, you've got one screen for the mix and one screen to see what you're doing in the waves. But like I said, we're not using this. We're all using what's ever on the board. And we've got 2 speakers, Tannoy and Genelec. Supposedly, I heard Genelec were like $2,000, $3,000 a speaker. It's ridiculous, but they sound really good. They're in a bad position because my professor told me, I mean, this is just his point of view, like anytime you like do type of mixing, that the monitors should be like on a stands in the back, but this is a classroom, so give you another tour of the classroom. Just come around. That's our mix window. That's, you know, out. That next door is like another classroom. This is our other sound booth. We got a bunch of different stuff here. Got a subwoofer right there. I'll show you the front. This is an old school 24 mix channel right here. We're not going to use it, but I've never used this before, but he's going to show us how to mix on this or whatnot. Come around. This is all our Pro Tools stuff. It's really noisy. That's the Mac. I forgot which Mac it's running. It's a pretty powerful computer. HD24. In case, like, you know, I've used this before. This has got really good sound. Recording analog straight up. Some Alesis. Rocks. We got some old school stuff here. I've never used this, but this is the baby up here. You got your interfaces, your Pro Tools, DigiDesigns, yeah, and a big power source. You know, I don't even want nobody back here most of the time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the basics of the whole studio. I mean, like I said, it's a classroom and stuff. First time I'm making a video of this. There'll be more videos to come. But this is the whole console. Like I said earlier, that's the sub. But yeah, this is it. Whole studio console. Well, thank you. Enjoy my videos, and there will be more to come.